After surgery in Zurich, a shadow of uncertainty gripped me, an insidious whisper that clouded my every thought. The doctor handed me a note that read, "Hori, don't return to your mansion, run." The moment I read those words, a chilling realization settled over me like a heavy fog. My life, an intricate web of opulence and power, was crumbling beneath my feet like dust dispersing in the wind. How could a simple medical procedure lead to such an ominous warning? I felt a cold shiver trace my spine, as though the very air around me had thickened with a palpable tension that stripped away my composure. I am Isabella Thornfield, a name reverberating through boardrooms from New York to Hong Kong. My lineage dates back centuries, a tapestry woven with ambition, resilience, and an unyielding determination to rise above mere survival. My grandfather built our empire from the ground up, transforming a humble textile business into a global conglomerate, now valued at over $50 billion. My hands now hold the reins of this vast empire, managing stakes in luxury hotels, groundbreaking pharmaceuticals, and a fleet of extravagant private jets that stretch across the sky like symbols of my success. Yet, amid the glimmering wealth and sophistication, shadows loomed, dark and haunting specters of betrayal that were only beginning to reveal themselves. The tensions within my family had simmered long before my surgery, akin to a storm, gathering strength overhead, dark clouds swirling with menace. My daughter, Claire, resented the long hours I dedicated to work. To her, it often felt as if I valued my legacy more than her very existence. A grievous wound that cut deeper than I ever realized. My estranged brother, William, viewed me as a threat, the rivalry simmering beneath our shared blood like molten lava, waiting for the right moment to erupt. As the future heir to the empire, he felt entitled, even justified, to challenge my leadership without remorse. Years of dismissing their grievances came rushing back, and I confronted my hubris with a bitter taste in my mouth. After all, my empire demanded unwavering diligence. I was the captain steering this grand ship, the protector of our family name, and I truly believed they simply didn't understand the burdens and sacrifices that came with my role. However, as I lay on the operating table, vulnerable and uncertain, I discovered their resentment had morphed into something far more sinister, treachery that was beyond my wildest imagination. The surgery itself was technically unremarkable, a minor procedure designed to address an issue I had downplayed for far too long. I had hoped it would be the key to ushering me into a leisurely life. Perhaps one spent unwinding at our luxurious villa in Aspen, slipping away from the chaos of the boardroom. Little did I know that the most significant battle lay not within my body, but within the treacherous depths of my family's betrayal, where shadows conspired against the very fabric of our existence. Upon returning to my penthouse suite in Zurich, I found a letter awaiting me on the polished mahogany desk, an unusual sight in my meticulously curated life. The letter was scrawled in bold, urgent script, sending shivers of anxiety coursing down my spine like icy tendrils. "Isabella," it began, "trust no one. They want your empire." My heart raced uncontrollably, each beat a violent reminder of the precarious situation in which I found myself. Who were they? And what did they want with me? Those words echoed ominously in my mind, each repetition gnawing at my sanity. My mind spiraled through recent conversations, re-examining my brother's feigned concern during our luxurious dinners, the clipped tones of Claire's icy silence at family gatherings, each seemingly innocuous moment slathered in layers of deceit. In this realm of great wealth, where trust should abound, I realized I had trusted too easily, blinded by my own arrogance and my unwillingness to accept that danger lurked beneath the surface of my gilded life. Determined not to be the victim of my own naivety, I decided to investigate quietly. I requested my financial advisors to prepare a comprehensive review of our holdings, focusing on any anomalies or suspicious activities that might have slipped through our vigilant fingers like grains of sand. As the sun set that evening, casting an orange glow over the Zurich skyline, I savored an exquisite Bordeaux, the rich tannins swirling in my glass while contemplating the letter's dire implications. Was I merely being paranoid? Perhaps this letter was nothing more than a prank, a bizarre joke concocted by one of my colleagues or even a rival seeking to tarnish my reputation. However, as despair gripped my thoughts, I envisioned the enormity of what I had to lose. My beloved mansion, filled with cherished memories, the legacy I had worked so tirelessly to preserve, drifting away into the abyss like a fleeting dream. Days passed, twisting my unease into sheer dread, tightening its grip around my heart. During a particularly late-night meeting with my financial team, I unearthed findings that shook me to my core: an underhanded transfer of $12 million from my primary trust to an unknown offshore account, carefully shielded from my keen eye by layers of deceit. My gut dropped, twisting in knots as the stark reality hit. Betrayal ran deeper than I had ever suspected, and those I loved had transformed into puppeteers, orchestrating my fall from grace with cold precision and a calculated ruthlessness that left me breathless. What I believed to be security was merely a fragile facade, a shimmering veneer hiding the deepest of betrayals. My brother had masqueraded as my ally and confidant, but behind closed doors he had plotted against me, expertly, weaving a web of deceit designed to ensnare me. Each document I preserved that night stood as a testament to my vulnerability, revealing spectral shadows lurking within the very walls of my empire, threatening to consume me whole if I didn't act. The emotional turmoil of that pivotal moment is almost too painful to articulate. I felt as if the very foundation of my identity was crumbling. For decades, I had held my empire intact with unyielding dedication, each triumph a brick in the fortress I had built. Yet, the very people I trusted most had become the architects of my downfall. In a tumult of conflicting emotions, I craved revenge, a spine-tingling thrill coursing through me, yet fear gripped my heart as tightly as a vice. I could not return to my mansion, the place that once offered solace. It had transformed into a gilded cage, a facade of safety that concealed diverging motives, betraying the essence of what family should represent. The following week, our annual charity gala approached, a much-anticipated event renowned for its opulence among the elite, a carnival of sophistication where whispers of generosity mingled with envy. Could this magnificent affair be the perfect stage for my grand unveiling? Yes, I would leverage their own ambition against them, turning the tide in my favor. The gala would serve as my arena for a bold comeback. The esteemed guests, an assortment of well-heeled faces worn like curated masks, would bear witness to the truth lurking beneath the facade of elegance and grace. However, I understood that I needed to act with urgency. Tangible proof of their deceit was imperative to reclaim my stolen power and regain my rightful place at the helm of my empire. As the evening of the gala loomed closer, I adorned myself in a breathtaking red Dior gown, the fabric cascading around me like a vibrant waterfall, evoking both elegance and ferocity. The exquisite jewels I selected were equally extravagant. An $8 million pendant resting delicately at my collarbone, glinting fiercely with the weight of the guarded secrets I held close, a potent reminder of my strength and determination. I gazed into the mirror, my reflection revealing a powerful woman primed for battle, a lioness ready to reclaim her territory. The lights of the gala would shine upon my much-anticipated revival, each spark a flicker of the fire roaring within. Upon arriving at the venue in my elegant attire, I was enveloped by an atmosphere pulsing with whispers of admiration and veiled jealousy, an intoxicating mixture that made my heart race. The air was thick with laughter, the sound dancing harmoniously with the clinking of crystal glasses, creating a symphony of wealth and privilege. It should have felt comforting, yet an underlying tension gripped me like an iron chain, squeezing tighter with every step I took. I approached the guests, all eyes drawn towards my presence, their gazes appraising yet unaware of the battle I had begun. As I stepped onto that grand stage, adorned with sparkling chandeliers that cast a soft glow over the audience, my heart raced, its rhythm a fierce drumbeat echoing the cadence of my ambition. Gripping a crystal glass in one hand, I projected my voice into the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we gather not only to honor generosity, but to highlight transparency. In our dealings, a vital principle that we must never forget. My words filled the room with an intoxicating confidence, an electrifying current that captivated the attention of the most influential attendees. With a grand flourish, I unveiled the documents. Each transaction, every betrayal occurring right under their unsuspecting noses, exposing the machinations of betrayal that lurked in the shadows. Gasps erupted through the hall like detonated fireworks, the sound reverberating. Against the opulent walls, a palpable gasp of collective horror and realization. William's face blanched to an ashen hue, the color draining from his skin as disbelief washed over him. Claire's eyes widened in horror, her expression shifting between betrayal and confusion. They stood exposed before the elite, their reputations shattered into countless fragments like glass breaking on a marble floor. The opulence of my surroundings transformed into a battleground, and I could feel the deep betrayal bubbling beneath the pristine surface, a stirring tide threatening to overwhelm them all. "I will not be a victim," I declared, my voice unwavering, resonating through the grand hall like a clarion call. "Nor shall I allow the bonds of blood to erode my legacy." In that moment, it became a declaration not just for the audience, but for myself, a reminder of the inner strength forged from a lifetime of building businesses, forming alliances, and overcoming adversity. The aftermath of my revelation was swift and relentless. Investigations were initiated against William, with authorities zooming in on the repercussions of his treachery, the walls closing in around him, his confidence faltering, allies retreating into the shadows of uncertainty. The very foundations he had relied upon for his deceitful machinations began to crumble, echoing the murmurings of a storm gathering on the horizon. As for Claire, she found herself ensnared between familial allegiance and the stark reality of her father's betrayal, her moral compass spinning wildly as she sought to navigate this treacherous territory. The carefully constructed facade she had clung to began to shatter, leaving her adrift in a tumultuous sea of confusion, her trust spiraling into chaos. Looking back, I learned a profound lesson about trust, particularly among families ensnared in webs of vast wealth and unquenchable ambition. Power is an illusion, and loyalty is as fragile as fine crystal, easily shattered when greed clouds judgment and familial ties suffocate under ambition. Empires, built on the backs of perseverance and unwavering dedication, can be dismantled in the blink of an eye, swept away like sandcastles destroyed by the relentless tide of treachery and sorrow. Ultimately, I understood that my legacy is defined not solely by material possessions, but by my courage to confront betrayal head-on, to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of deceit. As the gala gradually dwindled, the elite dispersing into clusters of gossip and speculation that wove through the halls like whispers of the past, news of my triumph spread like wildfire, igniting discussions about the intricate complexities of family, power, and loyalty across the city. So here I am, reflecting on this tumultuous journey, realizing that my life encapsulates far more than a billion-dollar fortune. It is, rather, a legacy forged through resilience, determination, and an unwavering testament to standing firm amid the storms that threaten to engulf us when we least expect it. So let me pose a question to you. How far would you go to protect your legacy? What price would you pay for loyalty, and who would you trust when when it truly matters. Take a moment to ponder. In my world, the answer may surprise you. Your thoughts may wander, yet remember this. Wealth might shield you from many adversities, but it will never protect you from the fate of those closest to you. Be wary. Wealth can illuminate shadows, or it can cast them deeper than ever before, blurring the lines between loyalty and betrayal until you can no longer decipher friend from foe in the intricate dance of ambition and greed.